Okay, and I think we're live. We should be anyway. Let me take a look at the thing. Shit. Hang on. Why am I hearing myself? Where's the sound coming from? Oh, there it is. Okay. How does any of this work? I don't know. Okay, hey, hello. What's up? God, I'm in the control room thing. Just trying to get things working. How do I do this? How do I go here? Do this. There we go. So I'm basically just gonna be doing some questing in the background while I'm answering some questions. God, I've been so tired all day today. I woke up at like 8, took a shower, and almost fell asleep in the shower. Went to school. I had like only one class today, which was weird. What am I doing here? All in disguise. Oh fuck. Well, like I only had one class today, and then I came home and I like took a nap. Fuck. Is the next podcast coming out in 4 days? I would say no. I don't think so. I don't know why. What gave you the idea? It coming out in 4 days, but I honestly couldn't tell you when the actual podcast is coming out. When the next one is coming out. Probably. Like, it's difficult to say. I have one episode recorded, but whether I actually want to release that one, I'm still not sure about, because it's a bit, I don't know. Hello, Hassan. God damn it. Do you think that capitalism is to blame for the colonization of Africa? Well, the neocolonialism, the neocolonization of Africa, yes. But the colonization of Africa happened, I mean, before capitalism even was a thing. But neocolonialism, I mean, that's what neocolonialism is about. It's about capitalist exploitation of Africa. Is that Minecraft? Yeah, this is Minecraft. This is what I built. I'm gonna go mine some diamonds in a minute. So that's just the thing I'm gonna do. Oh fucking hell. I don't have the game sound on. I don't know if anyone actually wants that. Race for Africa was in the 1800s, yes, but I mean, colonialism happened before that. I mean, the Roman Empire was conquering Northern Africa in like 800 CE. But yeah, like the scramble for Africa did happen like after capitalism was invented, but it wasn't the first time Africa was colonized. How do I get in here? I am so confused. What's your opinion on third position and third positionists? Well, different people throughout history have called themselves third positionists. Like Social Democrats sometimes still call themselves third position, as in anti-communists and anti-fascists. This is the person I'm supposed to talk to. I think. No? Shadowy Inish. Who's this one? Shadowy Laborer. Pan-nationalism? I don't know. Is that a question? Yes. Like what? For this count from Africa, though, it was mostly just small trade posts. I mean, sorta. Okay. I need to find someone. I need to find a shadowy laborer, but I can't find one. What's your take on Naxalism in India? Well, they're Maoists, pretty much. I mean, yeah, they're Maoists. I'm not entirely certain. Oh, there we go. There's an initiate. What are you doing here? Practicing something big. Okay. Where's the labor? Oh, there's the labor. Okay. What is your opinion on pan-nationalism? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. As in, like, Earth nationalism? Like a global republic? Or what do you mean? Okay, what? Oh. Advisor. This guy. What do I think about the left party? I mean, in Gothenburg they're fine. Like the local party branch is fine. On a national scale, they're almost. I mean, they're practically social democrats. I don't really like their party leader, Jonas Sjöstedt. I don't know. I mean, he's fine in some areas, but like. He's weirdly anti-communistic. I mean, for someone who is the leader of a party who was communist until 1995, he's like weirdly anti-communist. Do more gaming stuff? I mean, see, some people want me to do more gaming stuff, and plenty of people don't want me to do that, and so I'm just trying to strike a balance where I do some of it sometimes. Like, this isn't a gaming channel. Like, I have considered making a gaming channel exclusively for gaming, but then I wouldn't be doing live streams on this channel, on my Azure Scapegoat channel. Because, I mean, I pretty much exclusively live stream games, right? And so I would be doing live streams on my gaming channel, hypothetical future gaming channel, right? Yeah, and then I probably wouldn't be doing live streams on this channel anymore, which is sad. I want to do live streams on this channel. So, yeah. I don't know. I have a moderator in the chat right now who's supposed to be sending me good questions, because the chat is going by a bit too fast for me to read, and I can't really tell like what's satire and what isn't, like at a glance notice, because I'm like obviously trying to focus on the game and also what I'm saying, so I can't really also try to find good questions. So I just have one of the moderators in a Discord chat who's just sending me the good questions, but I can pick up a few questions. Yeah. I can probably say, like, I've been looking to do a podcast with Bad Mouse. I think most of my subscribers know who Bad Mouse is. I like Bad Mouse. I think he's really nice. And I've been looking to record an episode with him at some point. I don't know when we'll do that, but yeah, that'll probably happen at some point. What do you think about Nova Russia? Well, I did a podcast with Mouse Hodgeism about Ukraine, where we talked about Nova Russia. I don't really see. I don't like I don't like giving my opinions on other countries. I still don't feel like I know enough about Ukraine to have my own opinions about it, really. So really go listen to my that podcast episode with Mouse Hodgeism. It's Talking Goats episode 2, where we talk about Ukraine and we talk about Nova Russia. So yeah, I'm not really gonna give my own opinion because I don't really have my own opinion, because I don't really know enough to have one. Yeah. Do you think proletarian internationalism will ever be a reality? Like an actual internationalist proletarian society, or the ideology? Because I mean, there are proletarian internationalists like in real life, so it kind of already is a reality. But if you're asking like, will a proletarian internationalist society be realized? See, maybe. Probably not anytime soon. I mean, there's something to God, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I think it's more likely that proletarian internationalism will be a thing across two borders, like across Sweden and Norway, across Germany and France, as opposed to working class Americans or working class Swedes relating to working class Chinese people. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So is Communist Party of the Russian Federation revisionist? Again, I haven't even done a podcast episode about Russia, so I kind of don't really want to talk about that. Like, my Russian friends basically have all told me that they are revisionist in some sense or another. But I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. Have you ever read Condition of the Working Class in England? I think so. Actually, I recognize the title. I don't... Who's it by? Who's the author of that? What do you think about the Social Democrats? Well, the Social Democrats, obviously. There's not a lot more to say about that. I think I want to go to Negrad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Social Democrats have passed some good things. Like the Social Democrats have, like the Swedish welfare model is a good one. But we basically only have our welfare model because of the Soviet Union and because of the threats of communism. Because we had the Communist Party of Sweden was in parliament for a long time, like from the 20s until, well, they changed their name and became Eurocommunist, but basically from the 20s until 1995 we had a Communist Party in parliament. Social Democrats were really afraid that there was going to be a communist revolution in Sweden, which was basically why we got, you know, the free healthcare, we got the free education, we got the social security nets, Arbetsförmedlingen, you know, and we got Folkhemmet, we got all of the good, you know, social policies ish. But ever since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, those things have been scaled back. Less money has been spent on welfare, less money has been spent in the public sector. Privatization has started coming back. Like pharmacies have been privatized. Schools have started being privatized. Like I don't think we ever had, well, we might have had some, but definitely not at this scale. We didn't have private schools. Now we have a lot of private schools. I actually go to a private school, private gymnasium. Opinion on Kurdistan? I don't really have a huge opinion on Kurdistan. Like, I mean, if the Kurds want their own state, I don't really see a problem with it, because, I mean, they are not Arabs, right? Like, they have their own culture and their own history, their own traditions. If they feel like the northern Iraqis, the northern Syrians, the western Iranians, the south eastern Turks, right, the Kurdish people living in those regions, if they feel like they need their own states, where you know, they aren't controlled by, you know, the Arabs in Istanbul or in Baghdad or whatever, then, I mean, go ahead. Yeah, like, if there is a popular movement for it, if there's a referendum and they win, then sure. I mean, I feel the same way about Catalonia. Like, if the majority of people want it, then go ahead. You play WoW? Holy shit! I played in Vanilla and just hopped back into Legion. When did you start? I actually started in Vanilla. I think I started in 2007, 2006 maybe. So like 2 or 3 years after it was released. I remember, yeah, I was probably playing for about a year before Burning Crusade was released. I didn't play an awful lot in Burning Crusade. I did play some. I think Wrath of the Lich King was really when I played the most. I still don't really play as much as I did back in Wrath. I guess you could call me a Wrath baby, but a Wrath baby is usually someone who started playing in Wrath. I had been playing for a while before Wrath came out, so. But yeah, Wrath of the Lich King was definitely when I played the most. I log in, like nowadays, like I log in like once a day, twice a day, play for 2 or 3 hours really. Like what I'm playing on the stream right now is probably what I'll play today. And I mean, I don't have a huge amount of things left to do in Legion, because like the new expansion is coming next year, Battles for Azeroth. So and Taurus is coming as well, and the new patch 7.3.5. So basically, there's no content to do right now. Everyone's just waiting for the next the next thing to come out. Aren't you a hypocrite for going to a private gymnasium? Well, when I actually signed up to go there, I didn't know it was a private gymnasium. Like, private gymnasiums in Sweden aren't really private in the way that you imagine. They're still quite heavily regulated by the state. But I mean, like, going to a public gymnasium doesn't make you a communist, right? Like, going to a public school doesn't mean that you're a communist, and so going to a private school doesn't mean that you're a capitalist. So, no, I wouldn't say that it makes me a hypocrite. Should I vote for the Social Democrats to stop the Sweden Democrats? No, Because we have a Webster method of voting, which basically means that the larger parties have to give seats to the smaller parties. I would say vote for a smaller party. Vote for... Well, see, I want to tell you to vote for a party that's actually going to get into parliament. And so, like the Communist Party, the Swedish Communist Party, don't participate in parliamentary elections. So you literally cannot vote for them for parliament, for Riksdag. So, I mean, if you can stand them, like if you don't hate them, vote for the left party, I would say. If you really burn from like gender equality issues, like you can probably vote for the Feminist Initiative. They'll probably get into parliament next election. I would say most likely. My predictions are that Christian Democrats are going to fall below, what is 4% that's required to gain any seats. Feminist Initiative is probably going to gain a couple of seats. I don't think they will gain that many. I think they will basically just take the place of the Christian Democrats and be the smallest party in parliament. But they will still be in parliament. So, yeah. What are your opinion on the Swedish monarchy? Well, I'm a Republican because I mean monarchism isn't nice. Like I really don't see any real reasons why the monarchy should be kept. I mean, there's the idea of that, oh, national unity, populism, it's a symbol of the blah blah blah. I would much rather have a president, honestly. Like, even if it's just, like in Ireland, like in, what was the other thing I was thinking about? The other country I was thinking about just now. Like, even if it's just like in Ireland, where the president basically doesn't do anything. It's just a figurehead. Like in Germany, for example. Germany has a president, but the chancellor is the one actually in control, head of government. Like, even if we just had that, I would be happy with it, right? I would much rather have a president and have Sweden be a republic, as opposed to have a king and have Sweden be a monarchy. Like, even if the monarchy doesn't have any control, like I would still rather replace the king with a president who's elected. WoW is quite addictive. How do you feel about vanilla classic servers? Well, see, a lot of people are saying like, oh, I'm so excited for vanilla classic servers. Honestly, when I think back to vanilla, I think of spending way too many hours achieving basically nothing. Like, it probably took me days to get to level 20. Like, it might have taken me like a month to get to level 20. And like, it wasn't... I don't know, it was more challenging, yes. A lot of people are complaining that WoW nowadays is too easy. And there's definitely some truth to that WoW is easy now. But... I think the point is that WoW is more fun than it ever was. Vanilla was more challenging, but it just wasn't as fun. It was fun, but it wasn't as fun as like Legion is, for example. Like, the content in Legion is very good. Like, the content in Mist of Pandaria was very good. Even the questing in Warlords of Draenor, before you go into your... Well, I mean... You were in your garrison, but like when you were actually out in the world doing questing and just experiencing that stuff, Warlords of Draenor was fun. Vanilla, I don't really remember it being fun at all. So when the vanilla servers come out in like 2 years or whatever, I honestly don't know if I will even try them. Like, if I will even create a character and just log on. Like, I really don't know. Do you do drugs or smoke weed at all? No, I do not. I drink sometimes. honestly not as much as a lot of people in my class do. I'm not, like, not trying to sound like I'm straight edge or like I know better than them or like they are stupid. Like, obviously I'm pretty stupid myself. I don't know, I've just never really gotten into the whole alcohol culture of it all. So no, short answer, no, I don't really do anything like that. I do play World of Warcraft though, so that kind of, I spend the money that I would have spent on cigarettes and alcohol, I spend on WoW instead. So do you like Trotsky? Do I like him? I would say no. I don't really like him. I also don't really hate him. I don't really have that many opinions on Trotsky, really. What are your thoughts on an independent Sami/Sapmi state? I mean, again, like with Kurdistan, like with Catalonia, if a majority of the Samis who live there want to be independent, then they should be allowed to be. But honestly, I don't know if they want to. I've never seen like polls or anything like that. Why are you streaming when I'm in school? Well, see, I actually I looked up when you were going to school and what time zone you lived in, and I made sure to schedule all of my live streams, all of my future live streams, so that you would always be in school when I'm doing the streams. So it's purely because of you being in school that I'm streaming right now, and it has nothing to do with anything else. Corvo, what's your name? I just arrived. Did you answer my email already? I don't know what email that is. Oh, was it the... Oh, okay. No, I haven't. I'll make a... I'm gonna talk about that one in another video. Not in a live stream. I'm gonna make that into a video of its own, because it's a question that I got pretty often, pretty commonly. Yeah. The Green Party wants to legalize cannabis. I mean, the Green Party is a meme, really. I mean, honestly, it seems like everyone hates the Green Party now, which I'm fine with. They're just social democrats who like the color green. So I don't really give a shit what the Green Party wants to do, honestly. Make social democracy great again. Social democracy was only great when there was the threat of communist revolution around the corner, when social democrats gave concessions to the working class, so that the working class wouldn't rise up and try to install communism, because the Soviet Union was next door. So social democracy is not great anymore because the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. That's the simple answer to it. Left Party also wants to legalize cannabis. Well, I mean, the Left Party is a fucking meme as well. Honestly, I would probably oppose the legalization of cannabis in Sweden. I don't know. Just thinking about it like casually, not really giving much thought into it, but like my gut feeling is that I would probably oppose it. Why? Well, basically what Mark just says, don't destroy yourself, destroy the enemy. I mean, cannabis, like, I know people are gonna say like, oh well, what about, but if you avoid using whataboutist arguments, cannabis isn't really that good. Like, is it worse than this or that? I mean, no. But it's still not good for you. Like, if you need it for medicinal reason, that's another thing, I think. But to me, it just seems like cannabis, introducing cannabis and making it legal would just put another dangerous substance in society, which we don't really have. Like, very few people smoke in Sweden, smoke cigarettes or smoke weed. And if we were to legalize weed, then obviously more people would smoke it. And I obviously don't think that putting people who smoke weed in prison is a good thing. Obviously I'm for rehabilitation, not shoving people in prisons for doing drugs like that. I don't think that's a good thing. I'm pretty much for the decriminalization of all drugs. Like, if you do, like, I don't think you should go to jail like for doing LSD or heroin or whatever. I think you need help. I think you need rehabilitation. I don't think you need jail. I think jail would just make it worse. I mean, I'm pretty fucking sure that going to prison for doing drugs would just make it worse. So I'm for decriminalization of drugs, and I'm for more public spending on rehabilitation and helping people who have problems with drugs. Just not for legalization and normalization of drugs. Can you seek out profit in free market socialism? Do you mean market socialism? Yes. Ish. I mean, I'm not a market socialist, but my understanding of market socialism is that it's essentially socialist enterprise, like cooperative enterprise, competing with each other in a free market style economy. So can you seek out profit? Yes, but you wouldn't be seeking out profit for yourself. You would be seeking out profit for your workers, like everyone in your workplace, because in a cooperative, every worker is equal and owes an equal amount of the company. And so you wouldn't be like, it wouldn't really be the same. It would still be profit, yes, and it would still be a profit-driven economy, but it would be a socialist-ish one. But again, I'm not a market socialist, so I can't really speak for market socialists, because I am not one. If you really want to know, if you really want an answer to that question, I would recommend looking up someone who likes Tito a lot and knows about Tito's Yugoslavia, because Tito's Yugoslavia is basically the classic example of market socialism. Who would you like to meet if you could travel in the past? If I had to pick one, probably Marx, because he speaks English. Because I mean, a lot of people who I would like to meet in the past speak a language that I don't speak. Like, I don't know, various Chinese poets like Confucius and that kind of stuff. Like, I couldn't meet Confucius because I don't speak Chinese. I especially don't speak whatever version of Chinese that he spoke a billion years ago, like ancient Chinese, or like a, I don't know, ancient, not ancient, but like a old version of Mandarin. I don't know, Charlie Chaplin is pretty cool. I would probably want to meet like Pablo Picasso, Frida Kahlo, Helen Keller. Would be cool to meet her. Rosa Luxemburg, maybe. I don't know if she spoke English, so she was Polish. I don't know. She probably didn't speak Polish, but she spoke German. I don't really. My German isn't that great, so nah. But I mean, if I could speak with Rosa Luxemburg, like if I could also magically learn fluent German, then sure, I would also meet Rosa Luxemburg. What do you think about the German party Die Linke? Well, the German Die Linke has a communist caucus, and they have like an anti-capitalist caucus and a democratic socialist caucus. I think they're fine. I think if you join like the communist caucus, I think that's fine. I don't know about the entire party as a whole though. I'm not that into German politics. I basically just know what my German friends have told me about German politics. So I don't really know. My guess is that Die Linke is a lot like the Left Party in Sweden, and so kind of revisionist reform dem, like maybe not even dem sock, but like almost more sock dem, on a national scale, but maybe on a local scale they're more radical. So yeah. God. Do you support the Japanese Communist Party's decision to form a coalition with the Constitutional Democrat Party and the Social Democrat Party? I would say yes, because then Japan at the moment is basically a one-party dictatorship, like not like a one-party state. Like the Conservative Party is monstrously big in Japan. So I would say I would support any anti-conservative coalition in Japan, whether or not the Communist Party was in it. So I would say good on the Communist Party for trying to get some influence in Japanese politics. Yeah, honestly. 6% charge, answer quick. Thoughts on Ataturk? From what I've heard about him, he seems pretty cool. What is that I need? Enrage something. How did you celebrate the 100th anniversary of the October Revolution? I didn't really celebrate it. I'm going to celebrate it though. There's going to be like a party thing that RKU, Revolutionary Communist Youth here in Sweden, is gonna hold. I can't remember if it's this Friday or like next Friday or something, but it's in a while. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. What's wrong with the Left Party? Well, they're Social Democrats on a natural level. They're basically just the Social Democrats. On a more local level, in Gothenburg specifically, they're fine, and there are actually some communists in the Left Party in Gothenburg, but on a national level, they're basically just Social Democrats. So I would say that's what's wrong with them. What's the best party in Sweden, in your opinion? Well, of the parliamentary one, I would still probably say the Left Party, because they are literally the only ones on the left except the Social Democrats. I would probably say the Green Party is like more centrist than left. I don't know. I would probably still prefer the Left Party over the Feminist Initiative. So yeah. What the fuck? All right, sure, whatever. Thoughts on anarchism? I don't know. It exists. I don't really have an opinion. Goodbye, Hassan. Your phone is dead. You should find a charger. Enrage Crusher Core. Where do I get those? Are you ever gonna fill out the capitalist side in the difference between video? I've gotten that request a lot. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe. I don't really feel like there's a huge point to it, because I mean, honestly, obviously I am a socialist, and my channel, like the material on my channel is going to be socialist because it's from my perspective, and I don't really see what I would gain from teaching people about different versions of capitalism. Like, maybe if I made a video where I would talk about the differences and talk about how they're all bad, but like, again, that would just feel like me attacking other people's beliefs and opinions, which I don't really want to do. And so, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. But we'll see. What are your thoughts on syndicalism / libertarian socialism? I mean, syndicalism is interesting, I think. I think it's... I wouldn't say it's unrealistic. I think it's definitely doable. I think I would say that anarcho-syndicalism is more unrealistic than a more kind of Marxist syndicalism, where there's a lot of autonomy for the different industries. The workers have a lot of autonomy. There's a lot of local and direct democracy. But there is still a central, like there's still a state and there's still a government that kind of overlooks it all and makes sure that nothing goes to shit. I would say that's more realistic. Is it something that I like actively think will happen anytime soon anywhere in the world? No, maybe. There are some possibilities for it happening in India, in some parts of India. Like I've heard talks about it, but like honestly, they're contending with the Naxalites, and I don't think they're going to win that fight. So I don't know. I don't have anything against syndicalists, obviously. Like I don't have anything against anarchists either. But no, I don't really think it's that. It's for me, honestly. I'm more of a fan of just orthodox Marxism. I mean, I like Lenin, but I don't really call myself a Leninist, nor a Marxist-Leninist. A lot of people think I'm a Maoist, which is interesting. I mean, I like East Asian politics, and like I talk about China. Especially on the Discord, I talk about China quite a lot, but I don't really think that I've ever said anything that would like point to me being a Maoist. But yeah, I've gotten that comment a lot, asking like if I'm a Maoist. I'm not a Maoist. Never been a Maoist. I probably won't ever become a Maoist. Oh fuck. Oh my god, that's a lot of questions. What's your favorite country in Hearts of Iron 4? In vanilla Hearts of Iron 4, my favorite one to play would probably be the People's Republic of China, because it's fun to start off as this tiny, irrelevant country. Yeah, and just expanding and becoming huge. I think that's fun. PRC is probably my favorite country in Hearts of Iron. Have you ever heard of the issue with the Mapuche Nation conflict in the Argentinian and Chilean Patagonia? What is your take on it? If you listen to the Talking Goats podcast, episode 1, with Red Chilean, we talk about that actually. Well, briefly he talks about it. I don't really talk about it. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to actually give an opinion on it, so I won't. But yeah, it's a thing that exists, and I mean, whenever indigenous people are fighting against like colonialist oppressors, I'd side with the indigenous people. Pretty much, 10 times out of 10. So yeah. Do you work with any local party or organization? I'm a member of RKU, the Revolutionary Communist Youth in Sweden. And I've been with them since 2015. I was an ANCOM, anarcho-communist, before that. I was a really edgy teenage anarchist for about a year, and then I decided that that just wasn't for me. Nothing against ANCOMs or anything. Like, I can see where you're coming from a lot of the time. Like, I know a lot of ANCOMs that I like talk to on a regular basis, and like they're cool people, and like we have good ideas and stuff. It's just not something that I particularly believe is realistic anymore. When's the next podcast? I don't know. Probably, I want to say in a week. That's probably like my most generous estimate, is that it's in a week. It'll probably be, thinking realistically, it will probably be a bit more than a week, but my hope is in about a week's time from now. So by like, not this Sunday, but this Sunday after that, or something. That's my hope anyway. Thoughts on various types of socialist transhumanism. I think I need to read up more on transhumanism in general. I've never met a transhumanist in real life. It feels like it's just an internet thing. Like it's just people on the internet who say that they're transhumanists. I've never actually met a real transhumanist, and so I've never bothered to research it. I don't know if that's like weird, but like I prefer meeting people in real life before I learn about their ideology, because otherwise, I don't know. There's so many ideologies that are just like only exist on the internet and not in real life, like Luxembourgism. Plenty of people call themselves Luxembourgists, but there's no Luxembourgist party like anywhere in the world. There's like one in Greece or something. Would you say you advocate for left unity when possible? I've actually made like 2 videos about left unity. One of my Q&A videos I talked about left unity, and I did an entire talk with Cameron from Socialist Ladder, which was like 2 hours long, where all we talked about was left unity. So if you want my opinion on left unity, look through my channel, and there is plenty of material where I talk in depth about that very topic. In short, I would probably say yes, left unity is a good thing, but we can't have it all the time. Like it's an impossibility to try to strive for left unity at all times forever. When is the next video about communism? Well, my next video, like my next like educational kind of video, like my actual main content, will be about elections on Cuba, how elections in Cuba work. I've been doing research for that like for a long time, like for months now. And basically what I do is I go down to the Swedish Cuban organization here in Gothenburg, to their headquarters, talk to those guys, talk to just the regular members, like people who used to live in Cuba, and talk to like what's it called, like the office, the secretaries and the leaders of the Swedish Cuban organization, and just ask them about the details and that kind of stuff. Like ask them like if you look on the internet, you find some information. Like if you look on Granma.cu, like the Cuban Communist Party's newspaper, like you can look through there and you can find some information. I just want to make sure, like I want to confirm with them that this information that I have is correct. Really, I don't feel comfortable talking about Cuba and Cuban elections without talking to actual Cubans. So that's basically what I've been doing for the last couple of months, is just talking to Cuban people about how the Cuban system works, so that I can make like a video that is as accurate as possible when it comes to elections in Cuba and how they work and what they do. So that's I couldn't tell you when that's coming out. I'm still writing the script for it. I would say I'm like 3/4 of the way done with the script for that video. Then I just have to record and do the animation and stuff, which, you know, will take probably a month. But yeah, I want to get the video out as soon as possible, really, but I can't really tell you exactly when it's coming out. My upload schedule is non-existent. I don't have an upload schedule, and I kind of wish I did, but with school at this point, I'm in last year in gymnasium, like 6th form high school basically, and so it's pretty stressful. I just have a lot to do, so YouTube kind of has to come second, which like sucks, but yeah. What is your opinion on KKE, Communist Party of Greece? I think RKU has, like the Swedish Communist Party and RKU have worked with them in the past, so my assumption is that they're pretty cool, but I don't know too much about them. I mean, it's nice that they have seats in parliament. That's a thing. Best option for American communists? Join a party. Any one of them. Just join a party. A socialist party. Don't be on the internet all day. Don't just be an internet activist, keyboard warrior. Go out into the real world. Join a political party. Meet real people. Join, like, be active. Join in on events, protests, you know, hand out flyers, put up posters. Just make friends, really. Yeah, really just make friends and find a sense of camaraderie with people that you agree with. It's not so much for the sake of the communist movement, it's more really for the sake of you. I think that if you feel like things are hopeless, and if you feel like everything is shit in politics and there's nothing good ever happening, I think just joining a political party, kind of regardless of what your ideology is, just joining a political party with the same ideology as you, finding like-minded people, I think helps, because you can kind of support each other. So I think, like, for your own sanity, for your own, like, mental health, I would say join a party and things will feel better, I would say. How would you convert state-owned companies to worker-run cooperatives? I don't know. It seems pretty self-explanatory. I mean, the state would give ownership to the people who are already employed. I wouldn't say that it would have to be seized from the government. If the government is a socialist one, my assumption would be that if there was a possibility, then the government would convert it into a cooperative, or at least, like, at the very least, give the workers better conditions, give them more democratic control, that kind of thing. Yeah. Thoughts on Trotsky and Stalin? I mean, they both died like 70 years ago. I don't think they have a lot of relevance to modern day politics, so I don't really give a shit. I don't really partake in the argument. Like, Stalinists hate Trotskyists and Trotskyists hate Stalinists, and I don't think that's a really good thing, that we have communists who hate each other. It's just not a nice situation to be in, I don't think. And I don't know, it's just an old rivalry that's still left behind for some fucking reason. I honestly couldn't tell you why there are still Trotskyists and Stalinists in today's world. Yeah. No, I don't know. It just seems like it's a weird rivalry. It's a weird split. In really, they're both Leninists, so it's just a weird split. It's just weird to me that they still exist, or like that they still hate each other, I guess. So yeah. Can you do a video about Hungarian Soviet Republic or the era of revolutions in general? I think there are already videos about that on YouTube, like more than one. And I don't know, I really don't know more than they do, more than the videos that are already out there. And it's not really a subject that I'm hugely interested in. So I mean, basically with any video there, my answer is I might do that, but I don't know. So if your question is, are you ever gonna make X video? My answer will probably be something like, I don't know, but maybe at some point. We will see when I have time. That is basically my answer for everything. Yeah. Has classical Marxism any future? Classical Marxism has no past. I mean, classical Marxism died when Marx died. I mean, like, if you're a classical Marxist, that kind of means that you think Engels was a revisionist. Like, you disagree with Friedrich Engels' revisions of Marx and then his developments of Marxism, which is a very weird position to have. I honestly don't see why anyone would be a classical Marxist rather than an orthodox Marxist. I don't know. That's just really weird to me. That like the works of the First International after the death of Marx would somehow be revisionist. Seems really weird. But if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But is there any future for it? I would say no. But no. I mean, if you're a classical Marxist as opposed to an orthodox Marxist, I mean, I think that's a bit strange, and you're probably very few. There are probably very few of you, but I mean, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion, and I have to respect that, you know. Maybe you have some interesting ideas, you know. Maybe we should talk about something. Like maybe we should sit down and have a discussion. But I'm pretty firmly an orthodox Marxist, and I like Friedrich Engels, so. Opinions about Poland's and the world's its growing right-wing nationalist and fascist movement. It's bad. I don't really have a lot more to say about that. It's just, I don't know, it's just bad. It's sad that it's happening. It's sad for the people who are affected. Religious minorities, Muslims and Jewish people. Jewish people in Poland are like hated. Like the nationalists and the right wing and the fascists in Poland hate Jews, which you don't see very often in today's right wing politics. Most of the time it's anti-immigration, Islam, anti-Muslim. The right wing in Poland is like anti-Semitic as fuck. Like, I would say probably not the conservatives, like the regular quote unquote right wingers, but like plenty of far righters are both anti-Semitic and anti-Islam, anti-Arab, which is interesting, and obviously fucked up. But it's weird that Poland is like basically the only country in Europe with a very large anti-Semitic movement still, like since the end of World War II. Yeah, it's fucked up. But my opinion on it is anything more than it's bad, and it's sad that it's happening. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for asking questions and not being dicks. In general, just in general, thank you for not being dicks. Who's your favorite socialist marcher and why is it Luxembourg? It's Luxembourg because she was cool. You didn't really give me a lot of room for creative interpretation of your question there. What are your thoughts on the eventual collapse of the current type of capitalism thanks to industrialization, and what would replace it? I mean, thanks to industrialization is a weird way to put it, because industrialization has already happened. I mean, we had the first and second and kind of the third industrial revolutions. If you mean automation, then yes, capitalism is going to collapse due to automation. When, I don't know, but if you there's a video on YouTube by CGP Grey called "Humans Need Not Apply." Honestly, I think that video can turn a lot of people communist. It's a very good video. It kind of outlines why automation will just inevitably ruin our current economic system. Yeah. What would replace it? I mean, in an ideal world, what would replace it would be socialism, right? But do I believe that there's a chance of something else replacing it? No, I don't think so. Possibly, you know, SOCDEMs, idealistic SOCDEMs would like try to implement universal basic income or something. I don't think that would work very well. It would probably last about a month, and then there would be widespread poverty again. But you know, I mean, in an ideal world, socialism would be the thing to replace capitalism once automation comes. Which country do you think has the most possibilities for a revolution to happen? Which country in the world? Do you mean like except the countries that are already having communist revolutions? Like the WA state in Burma, like Myanmar in Burma? Myanmar/Burma, it has like 6 ongoing revolutions. Like there's a civil war going on right now, and the WA state is Maoist, so there's kind of a communist revolution going on there. The most likely one where there isn't already a revolution ongoing, Burkina Faso has a growing communist movement. Would I say that it's likely that a revolution is going to happen? I would say no. Colombia, I sincerely doubt that there's going to be a revolution there anytime soon. Peru, again, I don't think so. God, I don't think there are really any South American countries ripe for socialist revolution in general. Maybe some like Libya. I mean, Libya is practically in a civil war at the moment, like with itself. Like Libya is a mess right now. But if I can say Libya, then yeah, Libya. Where is this guy that I'm fucking waiting for? Sorbo the Advisor. I don't know. He's not here. Opinion on Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party. Well, this is probably one of my most controversial opinions in the world, and a lot of people hate me for it, but I still think that China is in a low stage of socialism. Did they go from socialism to capitalism during Deng Xiaoping? Maybe. I would say possibly. I don't really have an opinion on that. Today, though, I would say they're in a low stage of socialism. With basically capitalism on the side in certain regions, in the special economic zones. Do I think that the Chinese model is a good one? No. I don't think that it's effective. I don't think that it's something to aspire to. Does me thinking that it's bad mean that it's not socialist? No. Socialism doesn't mean good. Socialism doesn't mean whatever you want it to mean. I would say, from my analysis of the Chinese economy and how Chinese society as a whole is run, I just come to the conclusion that they are socialistic, whether you like it or not. There are good things within Chinese society and within Chinese politics, and there are plenty of bad things as well. China has a lot of problems, especially with democracy. There are some human rights issues in China. And I mean, which country doesn't have human rights issues, but it is still a very serious problem. Someone asking for a face reveal. I mean, I show my face a lot of the time. Just go back and watch some of my earlier videos. I've shown my face like 5 times or something. I just don't have a webcam that's working right now. Yeah, I would say China has some good things and some bad things about it, but I wouldn't say that they are state capitalist or that they are capitalist, like that their entire country is capitalist. I would just say that yeah, I would say that they are in a low stage of socialism, to answer your question. How to prevent a betrayal or revolution like in USSR, China, Vietnam, and Cuba? More democracy. I think more direct democracy. More referendums. Honestly, if the USSR by the time of Khrushchev had more direct democracy, I don't think de-Stalinization would have happened. I don't think the special privileges given to Communist Party members would have happened. I don't think the Berlin Wall would have happened. There's a fucking guy who's just promoting his own channel in the chat, which is really weird. What was I saying? I don't know. I had to. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, that thing. Honestly, I think a lot of problems would have been prevented. A lot of problems could have been prevented in the USSR, China, Vietnam, etc. if there had been more democracy. Cuba is democratic. Why are they privatizing? Well, they're not really privatizing in the sense that China or Vietnam have privatized. What they've done is take land, unused land, that was owned by the state, and they've given it to cooperative farms, collective farms, and some private farmers. Now, honestly, when it comes to agriculture, I'm not that opposed to private farms. I wouldn't really say that it's capitalism if all you have is a private farm. I would say that, I mean, at best it's a small business, and I don't really think that it's like the biggest issue in the world. And Cuba is under an embargo by the United States that was just reaffirmed by Trump. So Cuba is going to be under a blockade, under an embargo for a long time. At least until Trump is out of office, but probably beyond that as well. And Cuba is struggling economically because of that embargo a lot. A lot of countries which are allied with the US, like Italy, have decided not to trade with Cuba at all because they're afraid of getting on the US's bad side. So, honestly, I think it's not even privatization, it's just allowing the existence of private farms. I think it's excusable. Like, is it a good situation? No, but the US blockade isn't a good situation either. So I kind of think that it's justified. Or like, maybe not even necessarily that it's justified, but that it's understandable. And I can see why it's happened, and I can see why there are certain things that the Cuban government can afford to do, and there are certain things that it just cannot. And I see the reasoning behind it. So, I have a question. Why are you so gay? That's a good question. I've never really asked myself why I'm so gay. No, like, I've asked myself why I'm gay, but like, I've never asked myself why I'm so gay. Like, the level of gayness. It's a good question. I don't think I have a good answer. I don't know. Something about hormones. Maybe it has something to do with my upbringing. Maybe I was beaten as a child, which is why I like dick. I don't know. That was a joke? Yeah, thanks. I got it. I know that it was a joke. How would the Soviet Union have outlasted the USA? Don't make Mikhail Gorbachev the General Secretary. I would say it's a good start. I don't know. I don't really know. Ask Garlic. He's on my Discord server and a bunch of other things. He's around. You can always find him. He's just in various different places at all times. He's like, I mean, Garlic really is the spectre of communism. He's basically in all places at once. If you look for him, you can find him. I don't know. He's my go-to Russian communist. So if you have questions about Russia and communism, I would ask him. May your blades never dull, friend. Alright. I don't know why people are speaking Swedish in chat. Honestly, if you could switch to English, that'd be nice. I mean, I get it. I'm Swedish as well, but come on. There are a lot of like thoughts on blank questions. I don't know if I want to answer those at the moment. My god, there's so many questions at the moment. Do you like Bergman? I don't know what that is. Bergman. Don't know what that is. Do you know anything about the left in Argentina? No, not really. Honestly, no. Basically nothing. Should I know anything about the left in Argentina? I don't have any Argentinian friends, so... Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, English, you guys. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I know I'm supposed to do this, but... Is it blessing out there? Yeah, yeah. Your race is not having Argentinian friends is a crime. I just don't know anyone who's Argentinian. Requires windy reed hut. This is a windy reed hut, isn't it? What about this one? Do I have to stand in like a really specific place. My game is lagging. I think it's because I'm streaming, so my internet is just being used up. I'll take a few more questions. Give me a second. I need to take care of this first. Fuck. God damn it. Fuck off. Why don't Americans know what communism actually is? Well, they've been exposed to American propaganda for a long time, since the 50s basically. I mean, they're kind of taught propaganda in schools still. Why does it say... Oh, there we go. I don't know, they're just exposed to a lot of wrong information, combined with them not really knowing any actual communists in real life. I would say a good counter to that is, if you are American, be more open about being a communist to your friends, and be ready to answer questions, because they probably have some. I mean, if exposing yourself as a communist like puts you in danger, don't do that, obviously, but I don't know, I think it's a good thing to be open about it, to openly, in front of the whole world, declare your views, your aims, and your tendencies. Okay, I finally fucking got it. Do you listen to Röda Gardet? I've listened to like 2 or 3 episodes. I know that it's RKU, is it Uppsala that's doing it? It's pretty cool, I guess. I don't really... I know that I have a podcast myself, but I don't really listen to that many podcasts. When I listen to podcasts, I do on the way to school. I have like 30 minutes by tram to school. So I can listen to like 1 podcast episode to school, and then 1 on my way home from school. So I don't know. I don't listen a huge amount to school. I don't listen to school. No, I mean, I don't listen to podcasts that much. But Röda Gardet is cool, I guess. What's your favorite band and anime? Do you, like my favorite band and anime, like both of them in one, like my favorite band anime, or do you want my favorite band and then also you want what my favorite anime is? Because like I can give you my favorite band anime is K-On!, which is an anime about a band. That's a pretty good band anime, I would say. My favorite band, I like Alkaline Trio. I like Against Me. I like Bad Religion. I like I don't know. I don't know if I can really give you a lot of bands. There are a lot of songs come to mind. Not that many bands. And also a lot of solo artists. I listen to a lot of solo artists. Kind of more so than I listen to bands. Ninja Sex Party is good. I like Ninja Sex Party. Danny Avedon and Brian Wecht. I like them. They're good. How many times have you seen Steins Gate? Twice, all the way through. No, yes, twice. So once by myself, and then once with my dad, actually. Because we were home alone. Mom was I can't remember where she was. Probably working somewhere. She goes off on working trips sometimes. You know, we were home alone on like a Thursday night or something. I didn't have any plans, and so we were thinking about watching a movie or something. And I just put on Steins Gate, and we watched the entire thing. Not in one night, but like across a few days. So yeah, I've watched Steins Gate through twice. I am looking forward to the next Steins Gate X or whatever it's called. I don't know if that's... I don't think it's out yet, but I think it's coming out in 2017. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Did he enjoy it? Yeah, my dad actually did enjoy it. Wanted Giselda the Crone. But yeah, my dad did enjoy Steins Gate. And yeah, I'll probably watch the new Steins Gate with him as well. Because, I mean, why not? Yeah, there's gonna be a new Steins Gate. It's, well, a new Steins Gate. I don't know if it's an entire season or if it's just, like, one special episode or something. But it's, I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly it's coming out, but it is coming. I think it's called Steins Gate X. Or something like that. Steins Gate 1, maybe? God, I can look it up actually if you want. I have it on my anime list. MyAnimeList.net. My name is Assure Anime Trash on my anime list if you want to look me up. Okay, it's probably in my like plan to watch or something. I'm not actually showing it right now, but I'm looking at it, so just believe me. I know what the cover looks like, so it should be fun. Yeah, it's called Steins Gate Zero on my anime list. Is there a release date? Is there a release date? AnimeDB maybe. How's it? Steins Gate Zero. Main title Steins Gate Zero. Unknown number of episodes. So we don't know how long it's gonna be. Air date 2807. No, that's not it. Hang on. I can't find the release date for it, but yeah, it's coming out at some point. Look it up on your own time, I guess. Alright. What's this one? John Deadeye says the finest book with Kilrath. Alright. Thoughts about Anonymous? Is that a meme still? I don't know. Have they ever actually done anything? World of Warcraft. Yes, this is World of Warcraft. I mean, Outland right now, so I'm playing content from like 2008. Favorite death scene from Higurashi no Naku Koroni. Never watched it. At least I don't think so. People still play WoW? I think... I'm not sure what the WoW numbers are right now. I think it might be more than there's ever been. Legion. I wonder if there's a shard for it. No, there's not actually any official numbers, I don't think. I can't tell. I don't know, it's a couple of million at least players. So, I can't actually find any numbers for it. What was the thing that made you want to open your channel on socialism101.com? Thing that made me... I don't know if there was a single thing that made me feel like this is what I have to do. I think it was a pretty spontaneous thing. I kind of started the shard thing in that difference between socialism and communism video. I think I started making that. I might have like started drawing it on just by hand, and then I'm like made it in Photoshop or something, and then I basically just made a video around that. Because I've made videos before, just different kinds of video. Like I'm a media student, and I go to like a media high school, and so I have like education in Adobe Photoshop and After Effects and Premiere and graphical art and communication. Well, it's graphical communication is what it's officially called. Graphical communication and text communication, which is basically journalism. And some animation and that kind of thing. Also web development. So I don't know, I just kind of used my background in that to make a video. I made it very quickly. Like I didn't put a whole lot of time into that initial video, like the difference between video. I honestly didn't put that much time and effort into it. I just kind of made it for fun. And then it got like 100,000 views, and I was like, oh, I guess this is a thing now. Maybe I should make more more than just one video. So that happened. It was kind of unexpected. I think when I first made the video, I probably expected to get a couple of thousand views. I was thinking, you know, I was aiming for like 5,000 views. I was thinking like, if I can get 5,000 views on this video, that would be cool. Like that would be neat. So I put it up on like Reddit and things. And then it got 400,000 views. I think it's like almost 500,000 views now. So someone asked earlier thoughts on Xi Jinping and the future of Chinese politics. Kind of already answered that. I don't know, you should be able to go back in the live stream. I mean, either way, you can rewatch the live stream after it's done. I'll put it up. I'll be sure to put it up, so that you can watch it back later. I'm not sure how long I've been streaming for. An hour and 30 minutes. Okay, so I can go for like 30 minutes more or something. But yeah, I already answered that. It's okay. Don't apologize. It's okay. Which communist country that exists today do you like the best? Probably Cuba. It's probably the one that I know the most about. I like China. I don't necessarily like the politics of China or the economy, like the economic model of China. I just like China. I like Chinese culture. I like Chinese history and like. I just really want to go to China. Not for like educational purposes. Like I want to go to Cuba because I want to learn about socialism in Cuba. I don't really want to go to China to learn about socialism in China. I just want to go to China because China is cool. Like Chinese culture seems cool, and there seem to be cool things to do in China. I don't know, I just want to talk to some Chinese people and learn what life is like there. Have you tried hibiscus tea? No. I don't know what that is. I don't know, I drink tea most days. I don't know if I've ever tried hibiscus tea. I've never heard of that. What do you think of Che Guevara? He wasn't much of a theorist. He was just a figurehead, really, like an iconic figure, leader of the Cuban Revolution. He didn't really contribute much to theory, and so I don't know. I don't really have many opinions about him. He seems cool. Can supposed true socialism be achieved without state capitalism? Yes, is the easy answer to that one. Why did you choose your name? I think I've answered this in a Q&A video before, but basically it's a reference that some people have gotten close to getting it, but not exactly. But it's a reference to something that I'm not, at this point, I'm not really expecting anyone to get it. But originally, it was just a funny name for me. I thought it was a funny name, but no one has actually gotten the reference. So yeah. What's your opinion on Marxism, the Leonism? It's a bit of a meme. I think it's weird. I think it's really weird, the Leonism. Honestly, I think it's a strange ideology, and I don't even know if there's the Leonists left in the world, in America. I mean, because it's an American ideology. I think it's really strange. I can't even get into the mindset of a Leonist. I can't really understand why someone would be a Leonist in today's world. It just seems really weird. Thoughts on Maoism? I like your DuckDuckGo profile picture, Helineri. Thoughts on Maoism? Probably. I mean, Maoism, I think, was a good fit for China. I think it's a good fit for a lot of more underdeveloped feudal nations in Eastern Asia. I think Maoism can be a good fit in Afghanistan. I think it can be a good fit in India. Yeah, India, but also Persia, Iran. I think Maoism can be a good fit in Mongolia. I would probably not say Japan, but I would say Maoism would be a good fit in Mongolia. But I don't think it's a good fit in Sweden, nor really any part of the Western world, which is why I don't call myself a Maoist, because I don't advocate for Maoism where I live. And really, I think that's what matters. Like, the kind of socialism that you advocate for where you live, the kind of socialism that you advocate for yourself and for the people that you know and for your family and your children, that's the kind of socialism, like that's the kind of socialist that you are. Like if you advocate for Marxism-Leninism where you live, I would say you are a Marxist-Leninist. If you advocate for Maoism where you live, then I would say that you're a Maoist. But if you advocate for, like, if you call yourself a Marxist-Leninist, but you want syndicalism where you live, I wouldn't say that you're a Marxist-Leninist. I would say that you're a syndicalist. I don't know, it's just a weird thing that I've seen sometimes with people in Sweden. Some people saying like, oh, I'm a Marxist-Leninist. I just think that Sweden should be syndicalist. Like, no, you're a syndicalist. You just think that other countries should be Marxist-Leninist. Post-citizen would make a good fit for Japan. That's very offensive. That's not okay. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. The Japanese people. The only country that has been hit by nuclear warheads, like in war, was Japan, and they were hit twice. That's not okay. What on earth is this quest? Throw a boulder at a rock monster and 2 tiny rock monsters pop out, and then I have to kill the 2 tiny rock monsters. 2008 was a weird time for World of Warcraft. I don't really like leveling up in Outland, leveling from 58 to 70. Because of all the old content. Like, the Outland has not been updated since 2008. Or whenever Burning Crusade came out. I think it was 2008. So, yeah, I don't know. In your name, why is the S capitalized but the A isn't? Again, it's a reference to a thing. I still don't want to give away what it actually is a reference to, but yeah, it is a reference to something. And like some people have said, the thing that it's from, like what the reference is from. Like, yes, it's pretty obvious if you know the thing, but no one has actually been able to tell me what specific thing within the thing that is, I can't really explain it. I can't explain it without giving it away. Can we ask questions here? Yes, you can. I keep killing these fucking things without throwing the rock at them, which is dumb. God, I am very, very tired. I think I'll be ending the stream somewhat soon-ish. I need to take a look at the clock for a second. Give me a minute. Been recording for 1 hour and 36 minutes, so what's your opinion about Nazis and why do you like them? I don't like Nazis. I don't I don't know if that was a typo or if you actually thought that I liked Nazis. I don't. What on earth made you think that? Shit, I almost fucking fell. Jesus. Oh, it was a joke. Sorry, I didn't get that one. I got the earlier joke that you posted. I got that was a joke. I didn't. It's hard to see what's satire and what isn't on the internet. And there's such a thing as post-law, which basically says that if someone says something on the internet, there's no way to tell if they're being satirical or not, because regardless of what it is that they say, there is someone out there who believes that genuinely. Like, I'm not saying that you're bad at making jokes. I'm not saying like I'm just saying that when you're only communicating in text and on the internet, it's impossible to tell what's a joke and what isn't unless it's really, really obvious. Because like if you go, post-law was usually about creationists originally, but it basically applies to anything. But basically what the creator of it would say was that if you're on a message board on a forum about creationism versus atheism or evolution, if an atheist was trying to say something ironically, like trying to imitate a creationist, there was no way to tell the difference between an actual creationist and an atheist trying to mock a creationist, because of the so-called post-law. That, you know, regardless of how crazy the thing you're saying is, there is someone out there on the internet who believes it genuinely. Like, oh, the earth is flat. Like, if you say that on the internet, people will take you seriously, because there is such a thing as a flat earther on the internet. So so that's kind of why satire and irony is sometimes difficult to understand, to catch on the internet, because there are crazy people out there. There are people who believe really strange things on the internet, and that's just the way it is. It's just the way life is. But the earth is flat? No. 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 What the fuck was I doing here? I need to kill... What? Dawson's polluted essence. Great. Where the fuck is that? What quest is this? The spirit polluted? Oh, there it is. Psst. It was despawned. What's your opinion on so-called true National Socialism? Do you mean like Strasserism or something? Because in that case, I mean, it's still a fascist ideology, and it's still anti-Semitic, which I don't really give a shit about what you believe. If you're an anti-Semite, I don't respect you or your opinion. Like if you're racist or anti-Semitic, I mean, I guess I don't know, if you're racist and anti-Semitic, like, just nothing. I can't respect that opinion. It's not really an opinion either. You're just being a dick. So no. So yeah, that's my opinion. Like if you call yourself a socialist but you're an anti-Semite or you're racist, like I won't call you a comrade. I won't call you a socialist. I don't really give a shit what you believe, but yeah. I don't know if any leftists calling National Socialists comrades. I don't either. I've never come across that either. And like even the most tanky of tankies that I've seen on like Tumblr or whatever, for some weird reason Tumblr is where I've found the most tankiest of tanky people that I've ever seen. The most tankiest I've ever tankied. Even they don't call National Socialists comrades. They disguise themselves by calling themselves Nazbol. I get that. And I definitely think that there are a lot of Nazis who call themselves Nazbol. Which is kind of why I don't like Nazbols. I think a lot of the time whenever someone says they're a Nazbol, they're actually just a Nazi. But they're trying to, I don't know, maybe not infiltrate, but they're just trying to fit in to the leftist community. Because, I mean, the right wing communities and like Nazis on the internet, like, they're just, it's not fun. Like they're not nice. They're just dicks all the time to each other. They're dicks to each other. They're depressing. Like it's not a nice community to be a part of. So if you're a Nazi out there and you're looking for a community to be part of, the left wing community is nicer to be a part of, and so you try to disguise yourself by being calling yourself a Nazbol, trying to join, you know, leftist Discord servers and whatever, saying that, oh no, I'm not a Nazi, I'm just a Nazbol. And some people are like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Honestly, Nazbols are just bullshit. Like I don't like Nazbols. A friend thinks that the Holocaust did not happen. I don't argue with him, there's no point. I think a lot of the time, I don't know, it depends on what he's like. Some people are like more just ignorant. Some people might be like, oh, I don't, you know, I hear this thing, blah 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 million died in the Holocaust, and I don't really know if that's blah. Those kind of people you can definitely talk to and convince. But if you come across someone who's like, oh, that's just Jewish propaganda, man, the Holocaust is just Israel made that up, it's just the Jews could control us, man. Like, you can't argue with those kinds of people. You just can't. Will you just spawn already, you fucking asshole? Whatever. What's your favorite hamburger? Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, you probably asked that as a joke. That's a good question. There's a hamburger restaurant in Sweden called Max. Honestly, they have really good, because I'm a vegetarian and I've been a vegetarian for years now. Max probably has the best vegetarian hamburger that I've ever had. They have the green burger, which is like a bean burger thing, with really nice bread as well. Like the bread is really good. And then they also have a halloumi burger, like with like halloumi cheese instead of meat, instead of beef. Both of those are good. So one of those, I would say, are my favorite burgers at Max in Sweden. Because like the McDonald's has like a vegetarian burger, but it's shit. And Burger King also has one, but that's also shit. And then they basically taste the same, and they're both shit for you. Like they're both just fast food and make you shit nothing but, I don't know, I was gonna make it I don't know what kind of joke I was gonna make. Yeah, they're not good for you. And I mean, Mac's burgers are like good for you, but like they're better for you than McDonald's is. And also, Mac's is Swedish and it's not American, so that makes me feel slightly better. But yeah, no. What the fuck am I even doing? Yeah, I need to get that guy analytical putrefiers. Why did you become a vegetarian? Health, ethics, environment. I mean, the environment is good. Like, the environmental reasons for becoming a vegetarian are pretty convincing, in my opinion. I'm not really like a politically. I'm not politically vegetarian. Like, I'm not the kind of person who thinks that everyone else should become a vegetarian, and if everyone's vegetarian, then, you know, the world would have no problems. I never pressure anyone to go vegetarian, to not eat meat. I don't tell people like, oh, you're eating meat, that's disgusting. Like, I hate those kinds of people, honestly. It's really just for myself that I'm a vegetarian. It's just something that it felt like it fit. I'd never really been a huge fan of meat, and so giving it up wasn't like it wasn't a huge thing for me. I would say the one meat that I miss is probably like kebab, like Swedish kebab, and like kebab pizza and stuff. That shit was delicious, and I miss it even now. Even after years of being a vegetarian non-stop without like break, I still think about that sometimes. Other than that, I mean, I don't really give a shit that I'm not eating meat anymore. Honestly, I never think about it really, that I am a vegetarian. Like, it's not something that comes up like on a day-to-day basis, like, oh, it's shit that I'm vegetarian. I usually I would have been able to eat this, but now I can't because I'm a vegetarian. Like, I never even think about that anymore. So, yeah. Why I became a vegetarian? I guess just felt like it. Yeah, it's not really exciting. Not an exciting answer to that one. Have you played Nation States? I have played Nation States. Yeah, I played Nation States a lot actually, but I've kind of stopped. Coop was kind of a collective company before. Well, it was a supermarket collective. It wasn't a cooperative. It was there are cooperatives in, like, supermarket cooperatives in Britain, but it wasn't the kind of cooperative that's owned by the workers. It was a cooperative that was owned by members as a kind of customers, I guess. Stop showing off your fucking like you could buy like if you owned shares, or like if you were a member of Coop, then I guess you got like you got to decide some things. I mean, it was basically just a public company. Like, you could buy shares in it and whatever the fuck. So it wasn't a cooperative in that sense. Excuse me, sure, but have you know that you're a fucking social justice warrior liberal commie because you choose different life choices to me? Yeah, I know. Thanks. Who's your favorite YouTuber? God, I don't know. I watch quite a lot of YouTubers. I like, I don't know. That's a good question. It's a good question, but I don't really have a good answer. Always shop at Eco now. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you shop. I mean, it's been said a million times, but there's no such thing as there's no such thing as ethical consumption under capitalism. Like, as a communist, you're not obliged to only buy organically, only buy locally sourced. Like, most communists I don't know if it's true all like everywhere. Like there's a stereotype that all communists are like middle class white kids. In Sweden, most communists are working class, pretty poor. A lot of them are students, and don't have much food. So like you should never feel like you have to buy certain products. You should never feel like you can't do this, you can't do that. Like just whether or not you buy an iPhone, like capitalism isn't gonna collapse if you don't buy an iPhone. That's what I'm saying. The fuck was that? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Pff, I'm an idiot. Just live like when you live under capitalism, you kind of have to live by the rules of capitalism, right? Like we can't choose to live under socialism without converting all of society into socialism. Like you can't live your life as if you already live under socialism. So like, I mean, there are the memes that are like, oh, this guy is a communist, but he owns an iPhone, so therefore he's a hypocrite. Like, no, having a smartphone is pretty much necessary in today's world. A lot of the time, you need an iPhone, like not an iPhone, but you need a smartphone in order to get a job. A lot of the time, you can't get a job if you don't have a smartphone. So I don't think you should hinder yourself just to make a stupid point that doesn't even matter anyway. Like, oh, capitalism is bad, therefore I'm not gonna buy an iPhone and I'm gonna hinder myself. Like, what? No, you do whatever you want. Jesus. I mean, don't become a capitalist and like employ child labor in Asia or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, don't beat yourself up about participating in capitalism, because if you live under capitalism, you have no choice but to participate in capitalism. Just living and breathing and eating food, that's you participating in capitalism. It doesn't matter whether or not you buy an iPhone or whatever. So, Is the people that consider drone fuckers socialists via various mental athletics are person? What the fuck is a drone fucker? I think it's hilarious when liberals take part in communist protesters like some radicals. I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't know if I've ever experienced that, honestly. Oh, my quest log is full. Of course there's. Fucking questing back in whenever Burning Crusade was released. Quest log is always full. Underdog, I don't give a shit about this. I think I have like 25 quests now. I can turn these in though. Thoughts on Uruguay? It's a country in South America. I don't really know that much about Uruguay. They're the left-wing government, or the left-wing coalition is in government. They're kind of a mix between SOCDEMs and Dems. Like, I think the Communist Party is in there as well, but they don't really have that much influence. What's the next country to become socialists? Kurdistan or Java, kind of. Possibly Burma, Myanmar. Possibly the Philippines. Possibly India. India, I don't know, seems kind of far off. Naxalites have been losing ground to the Indian army, so India seems unlikely, but Philippines seems pretty likely. So Philippines might be the next one. Kurdistan might be the next one. Burma might be the next one. I think the other ones are like close to socialism. I guess like The ones that are on the road toward a socialist economy are like Bolivia, Ecuador. Really, I would say that's it in South America. I mean, there's El Salvador. There's Nicaragua. Nicaragua and El Salvador. Is it Guatemala? No, it's not Guatemala. It's not Honduras. I don't know. There's another one in Central America, I think. It's kind of socialist-ish. Yeah, I mean, those are countries that have like elected socialist parties, but they're not actually economically socialist yet. They're just kind of on the road toward possibly becoming socialist in the future, but who knows. What will be the last country to become socialist, and why is it the US? Good question. I don't have an answer. I can't really tell the future. I don't know, like, I don't think the US is necessarily the last country to become socialist. I think the US has a chance of abandoning capitalism at some point. Especially younger people in the US are definitely growing disillusioned with capitalism. How on earth America will manage to go from capitalism to socialism, I don't know. And I can't really say, as I'm not American. But I don't think that America is necessarily the last country on earth to abandon capitalism, like they will be. When will Sweden become socialist? Honestly, if I'm being realistic and not optimistic, I would say that's going to take a while. I would probably say that's not going to be within my lifetime that Sweden is going to become socialist. I don't know. It depends so much on events, like if there's going to be another recession and that kind of thing. That's really kind of what it depends on, more so than anything else. I recently left anarcho-communism. I'm just a socialist. What ideology should I pick? I mean, I can't tell you what you should think. I can't tell you, oh, you should be this or you should be that. Like, it's not about what I want. It's about what you believe is right and what you believe is the correct way of changing the world for the better. Honestly, the best thing that you can possibly do is read Marx, decide whether or not you're a Marxist, read Karl Kautsky, read Rosa Luxemburg, read Lenin, read Trotsky and Stalin, read Mao. I mean, just read the classics. Probably look into, I would say start with something like, no, never mind, sorry. I would say start with Marx, obviously. Work yourself up to Mao, as he's the kind of the most recent. And I don't mean try to become a Maoist, I mean just read and see who you agree with and who you don't agree with. If you agree with Mao, then you mean that's fine. I personally disagree with him on a number of things. Same with Stalin and Trotsky. I mean, I disagree with Lenin on something as well. But I mean, the point is that you read from all the different authors and then decide for yourself who you are. So, like, don't listen to people who tell you like, oh, you should be Marxist-Leninist, or oh, you should be Orthodox Marxist, just to put my own opinion out there. Like, oh, you should be blah, blah. Like, just decide for yourself. If you can, we just said try and get these books past my Sockdom dad. Just you can read them on the internet on Marxists.org. There's a website called Marx to Mao as well. Plenty of PDFs out there. You can print them if you really want like a physical copy to read in your hand. You don't necessarily have to like go to the library and get them. You don't have to like go to a bookstore and get them. Like you can read them. They're available on the internet. Pretty much anything you can imagine is available to read. That kind of radical literature. It's always available, so don't worry about it. Well, I think that is everything that we have time for today. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna run an ad, I think, just because that's the kind of person I am. And I'll see you soon, and then we'll talk a bit more. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna log out, and I'll take a few more questions, and then we'll end the stream. I'm just gonna open up the chat. I don't know if there are actually any people left. There are a couple on it, but I'll take a few more questions. If anyone has any, no one has any questions, then that's fine. If you make money, then you're automatically a capitalist. Yep, that's true. You can't be a communist if you have money. If you own things, that's just logic, honestly. It's just how things work. Speaking of, I don't know. God, I'm tired. When is the future revolution? I mean, where you live specifically, or like anywhere in the world? Because there are socialist revolutions currently ongoing in the world right now. So, can't be a communist if you're alive. True, that's true. If you breathe air, then you're breathing capitalist air, so you're partaking in capitalist. So, favorite type of cheese? Gouda, whatever that's called. Is People's Word universally applicable? I would say no. No, I don't think so. There are a few questions I have like on the backlog. Opinion on Gaddafi. Favorite game for fash bashing? Wolfenstein, probably. Any one of those. Thoughts on YPG? I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. On a scale of 1 to 1920s Germany, how screwed is America? I mean, America will survive. They always do. I don't think Trump is gonna mess up that bad, honestly. People are kind of acting like it's an apocalypse situation, but it really isn't. So, don't worry about it, honestly. How would artists and writers work in a socialist economy? Well, I would recommend that you look up how artists and writers were supported in the Soviet Union and East Germany specifically. East Germany cared a lot about arts and creation and just the creative arts and literature. artists and writers were supported by the state just through they were just publicly funded. Especially, like, obviously you could get work. You could work for the state as an artist, and you could basically be like a propaganda artist, and that was the thing. But the state also employed a lot of musicians in East Germany. I mean, a lot of architects, definitely, like people who sketched buildings and that kind of thing. And even if you weren't employed by the state, you would still be given support by the state, so that you wouldn't have to go out and get a quote-unquote real job. It was basically like a basic income for artists and creative people. Should we look at the Soviet Union as a perfect example of working socialism? No. I don't think you should look to anything as a perfect example of anything. I mean, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to be critical. You have to be analytical. You can't try to copy everything that the Soviet Union didn't think that's gonna just get to work everywhere. So, Suppisher. Sup Will Wright. Sup, someone else has said sup. Alex asked, are you single? I am. I'm not really looking for a relationship right now, but thank you for offering, Alex. So, if I have to read one book from Rosa Luxemburg, which would I read first? Either, God, what, the March, it's called The March Strike, or Reform or Revolution. Your thoughts on the Syrian conflict? I already made a video about Syria, so check your privilege. I don't know. Okay, I think we'll end the stream there. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for asking your questions and that kind of thing. If you have more questions, and if you haven't already, check out socialism101.com, which is my website. You can also join the Discord server. The link is in the description. It's been linked in chat by one of our moderators. And yeah. You can email me if you have questions as well. I don't know. I'm not as active replying to emails as I used to be because I get a lot more emails now. But yeah. Goodbye all. Goodbye. Have a nice day.